Alrighty, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. We are here, a few artists, just casually at the studio to discuss Madonna. A little bit of an opinion session from artists, basically. We're all artists here. I do experimental noise, guitar, singing, home recording, things like this. And on the topic of Madonna, we have Zosia Gautier, Marcus Nabuco, and William de Marinis. And we are going to speak from the artist perspective. And let's say I want to start by saying, Madonna gets huge respect for being like an icon in my book. So a lot of stuff we say, it's about like the influence of Madonna. It's about the acoustics, the audio. Any critique is, to me, whatever it is, Madonna's still like this icon queen, like awesome artist. So that's my perspective of Madonna. And if anybody else wants to say anything before we get started, like maybe your history with Madonna. I think her first album was 1987. A very like progressive 1980s like electronic album. And she's still going, Marcos, you saw a recent live concert in Sao Paulo, Brazil?
In Rio. Yeah, that's Saturday. 1,006,000 people.
Whoa.
It was something. In my city, everybody just spoken about Madonna.
Wow. And
Yeah. Do you know like people who went there? Do you like your friends, close friends?
You went to the concert?
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of.
What did they say about it?
Different things. There was polarized country. Half said it's a playback. It was shitty. It was a huge 30 million karaoke, and a lot of people, including musicians. That's my surprise. Including musicians that said no. No band necessary. It was amazing concert. It was an amazing concert. It was huge dancers, big screams, well, a lot of people, a lot of energy, a charismatic singer. It should be a musical, a huge concert, but it will be better with a band together. That's a huge question. We can compare. I think it's much. Of course, now as a musician, it will be much better with a live band.
But like, don't you think, like in big numbers of people, is it like more difficult to have like a big band to have like all the structure and everything and all the musicians that she needs to have during the show, maybe are busy also on other projects? Like, isn't it very difficult to do a tour like this, like a very big tour as this one?
I did. Sorry.
Like, Madonna has this really big show right now, so she needs a big support, like a lot of musicians, right? But also every musician, I think, in her career went like through different projects also, and they're busy in other projects. So it's like more difficult to have, musicians in this big tour. What do you think?
I think it's a kind of goodwill. If she wants to have a band, maybe a little band with a playback together. I think motivating. I think if she wants, she could do it. In my opinion, it should be better. But a lot of space, a lot of no problem. Have musicians there, and just she doesn't want. And the director said, I saw the press release when she begins this concert, and the director said, I posted that in my social media, and the director said, no, not the music's not the main character. It's the attitude, the clothes, those.
Yeah, and he saw something about like recreating everything exactly as it was. It can't be. It has to be exactly that recording, and yeah. Can't like having musicians. Can't like I think he said something like this. I saw.
Again, I don't understand what musicians couldn't participate if it's something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, also because we're talking about Madonna. So I think that shouldn't be an issue for her to arrange a band or something. So I agree with him with the fact that I don't think that if she doesn't have a band is because it's not doable, but just because maybe they had something else in mind. And actually, I didn't know about what they said about the music is not the protagonist. That's crazy to me because, I mean, I do understand, but you can have both. You can have a huge show. I mean, we have plenty of artists that like work on big, huge concerts with a great show, but music is still the protagonist. I mean, you're there because you're a musician, so you're making music, and without the music, the show wouldn't be there anyway. So that's kind of crazy. That's
the first thing when this guy said it's not important anymore. Music is not the. It's a music concert, but it's not music. Not about music anymore. It's about
It's about the icon.
The importance of music's going down, down, down. That's it.
Yeah, that sounds crazy.
And at the concert, there were dancers?
I think maybe 90 dancers, not 90 dancers.
So almost 100.
Also, almost 100.
Almost. And was there fireworks? No. There was no fireworks?
No special effects?
Like lights, lasers? Like what do we... Yeah.
Was that huge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look like no, even one statement like this kind of stage.
I've seen the videos because it was in Copacabana, right? I've seen the videos of the beach. It was full of people. It was crazy. Like no, exactly. You from the top, you have an eagle view of the concert. You have just a beach full of people. You don't have no sense, just people. It's crazy. It's like hands. But yeah, a lot of people. That's crazy.
Well, but from a acoustic perspective, I mean, a lot of Madonna's music is very electronic to begin with. It's keyboards, it's electric drums. So if you had a musician playing or musicians playing, it would be playing electric drums for a lot of songs. Some songs would be regular. I know she does. I mean, she has a lot of albums, right? So some would be electric guitar, real basses. You could do electronic drums. They would be playing a lot of keys, I think. But, you know, it's not like, let's say, you know, if Aerosmith came out and just put a CD on and then expected us to, I mean, in a sense, I sort of like understand why she would not make a live band because it's already digital art. Like it's already very electronic, keyboards, things like this. Although it would be really cool if she put electric drummers making real drum hits on the, you know, tech.
I've been re-listening the old songs, and at least the first 20 years, the songs were huge and all over the world. It was really drummer. It was listen now. It's a drum sound with riffs, fills, and very different. It's all pop music all days. You never the first 50 songs in Spotify. Never anyone has a real drum was playing, real nothing. But this Madonna songs in the 80s and 90s always was not electronic. Were always with people really playing. This electronic stuff, I think, became later. So the last 10, 15 years, I guess.
Also, because from my perspective, of course, this is my opinion, so people can also think in a different way. But my background, my musical background is basically hip hop music, rap music. So you have a lot of electronic instrumentals in this kind of music. But I know many artists, I also seen live many artists that they still use like bands to rearrange the instrumentals and the beats, but we real musician and real instruments and stuff. And that's so fascinating to me because it's the taste of the songs really change, and you feel that you are live real, and like the vibes and the feelings that you feel listening to a song that usually it's not made by a band. In that context, it's made by a band. It just gives so much more value and it's so much more fun. But this is my opinion. Like,
yeah, but it also like goes into something more emotional, and the energy goes through this. It's not only recorded and saying something, just music. It's something more.
Absolutely.
I think two things are not can be replaced. It's spontaneity and
Exactly.
emotion.
Yeah.
And it's called this kind of have his value as well, but not emotion.
It's a different concept. Well,
Yeah, it's different.
mm-hmm.
If you have to just to dance, that's okay, but you have to pay attention. It's different.
Yeah, so like, what about the audience of Madonna? Like, what do you think they were expecting? Like, I don't know.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Like,
Right.
you go there, like, oh,
Yeah.
well, maybe they already knew, right? But
This is kind of what I was wondering. Imagine you have a Madonna fan who's at the show. What did they experience? Let's say acoustically when they close their eyes. What was the quality of the live show, regardless of live or not? That's something that can be managed. Maybe she even had, say, almost like DJs, or the complexity to make the electronic sound was not just putting a CD and pushing play. There was a lot of audio techniques going on. Now, at the same time, a band would be more dynamic, would be more live, and possible too. She could have done all of that as well. But then you have, maybe there was somebody who didn't like Madonna that much. They came to the show because they got free tickets, and maybe they loved the show and now they're a Madonna fan. It'll always be a memory regardless, because it's such a big show, and then you just have the haters as well, so there's lots of perspectives going on at the same time. And there's many things, from a hip hop background. You can get a beat from almost anything. Yeah. And what do? I mean, for me, I really record on cassettes. I record on like old digital things. So there's this like conversation even in like hip hop or in like rock, like what is analog, what is digital, what is too digital, what is not really experimental, even sometimes what is like theft from another artist. Like in hip hop especially, you have this question all the time because you sample too much and it's theft. You sample just a little bit and it's okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So you're using a lot of analog too to produce your music?
Yeah. I'm pretty much, I mean, in an ideal setup, I'm like always recording with like something digital. Sometimes it's even just like a phone or a whatever. But the goal is to like put it onto cassette first and then record the cassette into something digital after that.
But, like, you do it for some specific reasons, or?
Yeah. I really personally like the sound of a cassette. Like, it's the same thing of people who like vinyl. It just kind of takes off like the high end, like harshness. And my goal is to create walls of sound. So it's very like bass, like driven. Even with a guitar is like very, yeah, it's just very bassy. And you can kind of like extend a note on a cassette a little bit more than like just a digital MP3. Like each note is bigger.
Okay.
So yeah, but I don't know. Like it's so. I mean, Madonna has so many songs. You know, you could do a band. That's the thing. You could do a band with it. Like there was a band from my hometown, and it was a question of like, how did they record this album? Because the album was very like instrumental with horns and like it was, I don't know how you explain that, but like it was like an orchestra album. And it's like, what did they use? Did they actually use a real life orchestra to make the album? For them, especially because they're not Madonna, they're like a small local band in a way, although they're really big now. But at the time, it would have taken a lot of money to make this live show like with the full orchestra. So some of the live shows they played with just guitar and like we're missing certain aspects of it, you know. But I felt like, yeah, they should have probably recorded it live to be like sort of pure. Not live, I mean like when they recorded the album, it should have been with a real band, you know. But live, they didn't really have the funds to make it a live band every time, you know. So
another thing is because it's interesting in a bad way because people on and on become more used to not distinguish music. They simply don't care. I actually love man. I don't make difference. That's the bad thing. The musical education. People in Brazil, I think it's all over the world, but people in Brazil become more and more uneducated musically. Hear music, listen to music, so doesn't care. So a lot of artists in Brazil, they come bands smaller and smaller. My worry about this process is going on in Brazil. The band is going smaller and smaller, and a lot of VS, VS. It's a kind of recorded music playing together. Now, after this concert, this process is going faster because the artist said, Madonna was made a playback in Copacabana. What should I do? So why should I hire a big band to go to the interior of Brazil? And so this, I'm more about this process. This a process going on since the 20 years. Now going to be faster because everybody, okay, Madonna done it because no problem if I do as well. It's an example. So this is a code. I'm very worried about it.
Yeah, but if an artist who's not Madonna, like not in that level, like same level, I mean, does this, it's like there's no credibility, right? Like people who go there and listen to him, he's not
the
playing in real life.
of the audience. People,
And it depends.
artists have a more educated people crowd to his concerts. Okay, that's okay, but more popular. That's one all the jobs are. That's the more common. That's a lot of pagode, sertanejos, and something like this. The audience really don't care, and the artist said, okay, now I can do it.
Yeah.
Save some money, okay?
As an artist perspective, I honestly think the opposite, actually, because I think that small artists that want to prove themselves, that want to show themselves the value that they can bring on the table, I think that they want to detach from that kind of behavior, though, because like, for example, again, talking about my background, I love music in general. I listen to a lot of music genre, but I grew up with hip hop, so basically that's most of my knowledge is where it's coming from. For example, we have the lyrics. The lyrics of the songs in the hip hop industry is a bit different from the other kind of genre, like pop, for example, that is the most basic one. Because in the music industry, it's very normal to have people writing songs for you as a singer. And sometimes one song is also written by many people. But that's so normal. And I agree with that also because sometimes you have people that are really good singer, but maybe they're not so good at writing. So that's fine. Hip hop, for example, is totally different because basically you're not singing. You are saying something that really rely on the lyrics, on the story that you want to bring, and how do you say? Do you want to
Express?
Yes, express to people. Exactly. So if you have a rapper that is you find out that people find out that have ghostwriters that they writing songs for him or for her, of course the credibility just goes down and basically is very bad. And in the same perspective, I think that if Madonna does that, like you as a small artist, of course you aim as somebody as like Madonna, for example, because you also want to get to that level. But at the same time, you don't really want to be that kind of artist that get, like, let's say, slave of the industry, where you have to agree with some specific perspective of the industry that is like, selling yourself a little bit too much, selling the soul, we used to say, right? And so, yeah, I think that actually having these huge artists doing like playback and stuff actually wake up a little bit more on that side, because I think that also people that is listening, you have people that actually maybe don't care, or maybe, as you said, are not very educated at music. But I think that if you at least are a lover of a music, at least a little bit, you're not going to appreciate that. So also from the perspective of the listener, I really think that if bigger you are, better is for the others to not do the same mistakes. I don't know if I explained myself.
You mean on like the influence of the people who are trying to like copy you, but not just a general level of influence on the future of music, maybe?
Yeah, because you as an artist, I think that if you make music because you want to be famous and make money, for example, you're not really loving what you're doing. You don't really love music. So if the people that is following that example is that one, then probably the music that they are going to make is not going to be that special, like somebody else that actually want to detach from that kind of behavior. So basically, I don't really think it's bad for that reason, because that kind of behavior attracts the people that probably doesn't really want to do that because they love music, if you know what I mean.
Like you're saying that it's an example. People you follow should follow this example backwards. No, she's doing that. I'm doing it a different way.
Yeah, I think that people that want to make music because they love music doesn't really want to do that. So I don't think that this kind of behavior are influencing badly the people that really want to make music. Because, okay, as you that want to make music because you love music, you want to make music. You don't want to pretend to make music. You know what I mean?
I think it's also like, I don't know, it's like also the artist's way of creating something, which it's not always only music, you know? Yeah, it's just like there is something, is like, dancers, as you were saying, or like images, videos, whatever, to create a spectacle for people, right? So they are trying to promote their music, but also in other ways, you know what I mean? So maybe it's like also an artist's choice to, like, every artist has their own, you know, idea of how can I do this. And Madonna, what she did, like, I don't know, it's pretty big. And also this made like a debate about it. So it's not only talking about music, but also her thing, her work. I don't know.
I think this is so tough to be famous, to get there. I think most of the people don't have the luxury to, Madonna do this, I'm going the other way. I think it's much more common. People follow the flow, follow the river, because,
or just experimenting yourself and in what you have.
I think as market, your share market, if everybody doing this, most of it, I think I understand, but I think it's a very true romantic artist should do something like this. The popular artist, as I'm thinking, Brazilian artists, the very popular artists, don't think about that. They just ask to be as famous as public as I can and save money. I think it's beautiful, but this is a very minority. So,
yeah, I know. It's very. It's not easy. It's not an easy topic, because the thing is that you can go against this kind of mechanism, because, for example, we have a very famous, is the biggest festival in Italy, for example, that is the Festival of Sanremo. And many years ago, there is an example that comes in my mind about a group, a band that is called Elio e le Storie Tese. They're really good. Probably you know this story. And basically, during Sanremo, they just in the middle of the show, they just stopped singing and they just froze. But the music kept going, and that was for them a protest to the playback mechanism of the industry. Yeah, because they are very huge in Italy. Like, they don't need to lick the feet of the industry, because now everybody knows Elio le Storie Tese.
Yeah, it's almost popular, like industrial, but popular.
Absolutely. And so basically, the festival wanted them to sing in playback. They didn't want to, because they want to do music like in the real way, let's say. And they just froze it, and they just stand there for 2 minutes, just standing like this while the music kept going, and they had like one man dancing. Like it was very funny because he had like a weird outfit and he was dancing with the music, but they were not singing. And also the host back in the days was like, when the song stopped because it's finished, he was like, what do I do now? Because of course they didn't expect that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not very concerning, in my opinion, just because you will always have people that will not follow that path, because that's the easy way. But as we know in everything, not just music and art, but everything in life, following the easy path is going to grant you something, but really for a short period or very small, you're going to pay for the easy path that you choose usually. And then you have people that work a lot for many years. And when they do that, when they succeed in what they're doing, usually they succeed, like, let's say for a long time. Maybe they have a really big impact in the thing that they're doing in general. So it's annoying, but not really concerning, in my opinion, just because also it's something that people always did in every kind of, not just art, not just music, but in everything. You always had people that choose the easy path, the shortest way. But we know that never pay back that much at some point. So, yeah.
You have to be yourself.
Yeah.
Basically.
I mean, you don't have to, but I think to get to 100%, you have to, it's
You
like,
can
that's the 100% is only available if you stick to yourself.
You can be a character as long as you, maybe just a part of you that is just a bit more extreme.
Yeah, or you're creating a character, but that you really work on it.
Yeah,
through you.
Exactly. He's talking for you anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yes, please. No water, please.
So we didn't even touch on lyrics per se. I mean, Madonna's lyrics are already recorded, and we're talking kind of about the live show. But that's another aspect. I feel, as we're talking about in general, like, what does it mean to be organic? What does it mean to like go deep, to be real, to do everything in like a, how do you say, like yeah, I don't know, just an organic way.
What do you mean exactly with organic, just to be clear?
Well, I mean, I don't know, like a real way, a sincere way, like a way that you try.
Like, for example, the ghostwriting that I was talking about can be organic in your opinion?
Yeah, like, because that's like just friends writing lyrics together. If you like really like everybody, even if I pay you to write lyrics for me, like, I think you will know if we really like vibe together, and then I just pay you for your time. Like, that's like normal, and like,
It's like a collaboration.
it's a collaboration at that point, like.
But what if I don't say that lyrics is not something that I written, for example? Do you think is worth?
Oh, if you're not like honest about it.
Because I mean, maybe it can be a really good lyrics but all the stuff. But what if you trick people to think that thing is yours?
Yeah. I think that it's just something that could work, but I still think the artist will miss out on the 100% of their potential. And
I think Madonna, besides the lyrics, that's just a lot of codes, a lot of flags. She fights. She do it all the time. And in the concert, she put in the scream, it's people who died from AIDS, and a lot of gay movement. It's a lot of, and the content's very interesting because people are still represented. A lot of fights she'd been fighting all along these years, or was representing that in that concert. Besides the lyrics, all the attitude, it's very, very interesting. Besides musicians, everybody was there.
Everybody was there.
Yeah, but I think it's also like a choice of Madonna, like how to present some problems, social problems maybe, and just use them to get also, I don't know, people more united to her music, not only to her, but also to what she's saying for all the situation there is with, or there was with Ed, and whatever it was the political or social situation, like artists does also this kind of choice to talk about something very big, maybe because they want to express it, but maybe also because they need to share it and have, an impact.
This is actually a very controversial right now topic, actually, because again, another thing that came in my mind while she was talking about this, still about Sanremo, but of this year, and there was an example of this singer that started with doing hip hop music. He was a rapper, but now he's very popish. He's like blow up. He's called Gali, and now he makes very radio type of music. And happened something crazy because they basically had a fight during the festival because he was talking about all the Palestine situation. And so he makes music that it usually is very political, but right now you have many people that don't want that in the industry. They don't want you to talk about music. Actually, in that moment, they stopped, after the song, they stopped to talk about the fact that they scolded him because they said, you are here to make music in live. Everybody was listening because it was live. You are here to make music and to make people have fun. You're not here to talk about politics, like to make it political. And people, of course, and himself is, of course, talk back saying like, but music is political. I mean, it doesn't necessarily needs to be, but music is, as every form of art, it can be political. And if you stop me to talk about the things that I want to do, you're censoring me. And that's, of course, I think, but everybody, I think, agree is wrong because you are there to say something.
This situation was now with this.
It was February, just some months ago.
Was on.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So it's a very controversial topic. You don't really know how to deal with it as an artist because right now you are in that situation that maybe you want to talk about something that it could be political, but it could be also social, and you don't know if what are you saying are going to be rejected. And for that reason, maybe you don't have an opportunity just because of that. And that's crazy to me, though, because music always been something that is also being used to fight back. And so, yeah.
Yeah, from a artist perspective, it's kind of just like what is the purpose, what is like real in a sense. If I don't know if I can bring it into something kind of one way or the other. I feel like sometimes artists these days are quite good at like sort of like faking punk rock. They know how to like kind of make an angle so that, it's like, I don't know. I just keep thinking about Nirvana, It's like Nirvana was what they were because it was very just like organic and real, and they didn't expect anything about it, and they didn't really care about it. And when the fame came, they tried to reject it, And now everybody's really good at acting like They don't want the fame, and they are punk rock, and they want to reject it, you know? And then you're like, me, I want to be like, no, be punk rock, dude, you know? But now I'm a little older, so I'm like, but be safe, drink water, like, you know, like, don't like kill yourself for the music, you know, like take care, you know, don't really be punk rock. So like, I'm like a punk rock guy saying like, be punk rock, but don't be punk rock.
Just be, but not too much.
Just, yeah, like, be whatever, something, I don't know. I don't even know what to advise sometimes. I think I would in like a personal situation, but as like put a stamp on it, like that's my stance. Like, I don't know, just keep the dream alive. Like, that's all I can say. I don't know.
No, it's funny because this, talking about Madonna, she's a 65-old lady doing all this stuff. She's still doing all this stuff. It's another point, another important point.
That's something that I guess we all can appreciate because, for example, I always been that guy that says like, I do really prefer somebody that is a really bad person, but as long as real to himself. I always been that type of guy. So like, for example, the punk rock artists, as long you want to drink and do the punk rock life because you are that person and because you want to be that person, I'm fine with that. Of course, I don't agree maybe with some kind of behavior, of course, because if like maybe I'm a fan, I don't want you to ruin your life just because you want to, of course, because it's still bad. But at the same time, I always been like, as long as you are real to yourself, as long you are like sure about that, as long you're doing that because you not because you want to please people, you know. So yeah, that's something that I really appreciate about Madonna and artists like her because after all these years, you keep fighting for what you always fought in the past. So basically, you in that sense, you are real for me.
40 years, just all this time, she's been doing what she wants, for sure.
Indeed.
Including not put a band in the concert. It's not a pressure, external pressure. Don't do this. She's always make her point in all stuff in her life. 6 kids.
Wow.
I didn't know.
Yeah, and you didn't know either.
All from the same father? No, right?
4 adopted, 4 African adopted.
Oh, actually, I've seen, this is just fun fact, but I've seen a video, it was like, I didn't know that. So the video, the caption was like family dinner, and you had her talking about random stuff. And you also had like some black people in the dining table. So I was like family dinner in the sense like actually family dinner or family dinner like the troupe, like the people working with there, because I didn't know that. And now that I know, all makes sense.
I did.
Actually, I think I saw the same video. I was like,
Who is this?
yeah.
Because it was family dinner, but they were black, and it was like she's white. So I mean,
No, I was just like, I thought I didn't see that it said family dinner. I just saw like people at a dinner table.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh wow, Madonna has young friends. Like,
I also thought I thought they were friends and
like,
collaborators and people working there, but I didn't think about like actual family.
she's really keeping the youth vibes alive. That's great.
Yeah.
Like, I had no idea.
And another thing interesting, that concert was a transgender artist from Brazil. He was just 2 or 3 Brazilian artists invited to the concert. One of them of these artists, it was Pablo Vittar. Her name is Pablo, but she presents like a woman. Okay, and she's still called Pablo. Yeah, it was in the concert. So the right wing was crazy because it was what kind of concert is that? Transgender. With just another fight. She is fighting. It was so put Pablo Vittar in this concert is another establishment.
And then there were people there who didn't like Madonna, who are at the concert of Madonna. You think?
I wouldn't be surprised though. That happened a lot.
Everybody was there, right? I mean,
What did it? I don't know. I think a lot of people because it was free, was in Copacabana, went there to, let's see. Some of them like it. Some of them with no expectation became a fan, a late fan. And a lot of people didn't like it. People on TV, it's a lot of situation. But most of the people was in the concert was I think was good.
well, I just before I forget, the punk rock thing had me thinking about AI. Because in regards to Madonna and AI and the vibes, I feel like sometimes I think that punk rock vibes are just meant for the younger generation. If there's too much AI influence or something, then we say, that's what punk rock is for. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. It's a very mysterious thing. I mean, what is art for, right? What is punk rock for? It's almost an instinct to be human. I really like the fact that Madonna has been sort of strong all these years, still going strong, still causing conversations. I don't know what else to say about. It'd be interesting to ask her about the instrumental thing. Maybe she's done band live shows before. I don't know. I mean, can we say she's never put electronic drums together and really done it?
I actually is the first time with no band. I've researched.
It's the first
concert with no ever.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know about the first concert, but for sure, and I knew that she made also concert with bands. So yeah.
A lot of people in social media, she's been doing that. No, it's first time.
Okay.
That's the part. First time, just to celebrate your 40 years.
Yeah, there was very
Kick the
specific
band.
reason, right?
I've had some theories that she's not safe enough singing, and that's the playback is with the voice. As I said, as I saw in YouTube, was her voice playing all the time, and she was playing together. They was singing together. So I think with a band, there's some theories. I made a post today. Was a lot of people talking. It was an interesting theory. It's she's not safe to sing along with a band. That's maybe with a band you become more obvious that she was not singing all the time. Maybe I don't know.
Well, she's doing a good job to have us discuss it. At least. Yeah.
And not only us.
I guess.
Show is good at it. Just make people talk about.
I mean, Show has been good at this. Show is
since 1987.
Exactly. So I think it's a trademark at this point. You have many artists that live out of these kind of success. I'm good at music, but even better at let people talking about me and the things that I do. So,
yeah, because that's the artist also,
Yeah, that's a punk rock vibe. It's more about my life than the music. But yeah, that's crazy.
Well, another reason I feel to stick to your own vibe as an artist is because there have been a lot of albums that have been released and were great albums acoustically, but so we don't know what they are. We, like a lot of like really good albums have then just nobody listened to for whatever reason. The press wasn't right. There was no hype about it. And
Madonna albums.
No, just artists in general.
Okay.
Like, as an artist, you can make an album, a perfect album, whatever. It could be a great album, but then nobody listens to it, So
There is a great example of this. I always forget his name, and that's just the example. Basically, he's the guy that sings "Somebody That I Used to Know." Somebody.
exactly. I love that song.
He has other albums.
Yeah, he's a great example. He's a great example because he's making music since forever.
That they stole the sample from a...
Yeah, that's true.
No way.
Yes, played like mostly everything that he heard from the song, he had to play.
That's why he disappeared after that.
What's the name of the Brazilian? About that. Already got on. That's the little musician bossa nova. No, it's like some between bossa nova and tropical is power, and then he took that. Yeah, like into listen up all of the over, and he had to needed so.
Yeah,
That's true. At least bossa, bossa. How about
yeah.
Okay. What the song was Sevilla.
Just a little piece, and he made the music. Yeah,
But that's
That is just like very, very good in his production, but like the bro, like he stole 3 seconds of the photograph, and like he methodly.
I mean, he's still leaving out of that song. I know that because actually he talked about that a lot. But yeah, as I was saying, he's a great example because he's making music since forever, and he also did other music after that song, but he never had the same listeners. He never had nobody actually.
I discovered the other day that he done other albums. I was like, oh, really? And they're also good. Like not so
artists.
Yeah, not so. I don't know. Like the somebody that I used to know. I think the moment you hear, you're like, oh, I like this. The others are like, oh.
I agree because I also listened to something else. It wasn't great, at least for me, but still a good musician. But yeah, everybody knows him just because of that song, and he actually have some problem with that song. He kind of hates all the things that song brought to him, just because it's like, imagine you're an artist, you're making music forever, and then you blow up because of a song. At the start, you're happy though. At the start, you're happy, but then
Everybody wants that song the whole time, and you have to sing it over.
Yeah, and you always have that song. You are just known for that song, and after that song, you make other music, but nobody.
Yeah, I think like that's the thing with when also an artist is very clever. Is I make this song, but I'm not gonna end here. Like I'm gonna have creativity ideas to still have people that follow me and like me because I have something more to say. And I guess he had, but maybe he wasn't the same.
Maybe he wasn't ready to.
He could have profit with the song because this stole.
Yes, of course. No, but he's still getting a lot of money though because he's a huge song. He's one of those songs that probably will never die though. So he's okay with the money part. even if he have to deal with that legal stuff. But at the same time, he's always been in that position. He said that in many occasions that he would rather not be that famous because of that song, just because it's kind of ruined his relationship with music itself. So yeah,
that's a lot of artists that blow wrong song, and then became this shadow of the band Extreme. How much and that I love you. It's some heavy hard rock band, and blow all over the world with acoustic guitar song. They're going up now. They're coming in. That's a Portuguese guitar player. No. Yeah, one of the best.
There is many Portuguese players that are in many.
It's a Portuguese, but it's very, very good. But they blow with the imagine heavy rock band exploded, and explode all over the world. It's a sword in their head all the time.
Yeah. Another example that made me think about is Stromae. That for me is a genius. I love him. He's one of my favorite artists. Stromae. He's a Belgian guy. He's Stromae because he's maestro, but they cut the word and they put the end on the start.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
I like French.
Yeah, he's great. I love him. And he's the guy that made Alors Danse. I'm not French. I don't speak French, so sorry for the pronunciation, but Alors Danse. I mean,
We'll see this song.
He's a huge guy. He's a huge guy. But the fact that like he wasn't ready for the fame that he gained because of that song. So basically, he kept doing some music, but that he fell in depression because of that. Because when you're not ready for that kind of fame, it's easy to touch the bottom, because like everybody expecting everything from you.
Well, gotta be prepared.
And now he started to make music again after almost, I don't remember, like 5 or 10 years, honestly. But some many years. And he made an album lately that is also very nice. But yeah, sometimes people are not ready. Sometimes it's hard to handle all that.
Because the competition was so hard nowadays. Because, you guys, how many songs are released in Spotify a day?
Millions, actually. No, actually, I
100,000 songs every fucking day. Imagine
a lot
to listen all the. Imagine the competition. You have to. It's terrible. Okay, it's okay. It's democracy. A lot of everybody can.
sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. But everybody can release a song. Okay, but 100,000 people.
Yeah, that's a lot. But that's how you deal with everything that is like accessible. Like also in technology, for example, you have that moment that a new tech just come out and it's not very accessible because nobody knows how to use it, nobody knows how to handle it, nobody knows how to do stuff with that. But then, and it's also for the most expensive. But then with years, becomes a lot more accessible every year more. So it's easy for people to start with that stuff. And music is the same. Like music back in the days when you had just analog music, it was so hard because you had to spend a lot of money to make music, and you cannot make so many mistakes because every mistake that you did, you had to spend money to so, and you had to have all the things that you need to make the music. Now you just need a PC. So it's very easy. And I love this. I think that everybody loves this because everybody loves to be able to experience new stuff, to experience, like, I want to make music. I wake up and I can make music. That's crazy. That's lovely. But you also have the other side of the medal, like everything. You just need to understand, embrace, and just work around, I guess. Just be smart and to be able to find your way to stand out. Now we're talking about music, but you can apply this to everything, basically. So it's a challenge. AI too is a challenge. It's a huge challenge. For me, AI is a huge challenge because you have so much potential, but at the same time, it's so scary, as from the artist's perspective, mostly. It's so scary because, of course, it's normal. You can be scared about the fact that actually an AI can write a full song with the instrumental,
Write a song, record.
Yeah, can do everything in 30 seconds. I mean, 30 seconds right now is a bit extreme, but it is very challenging because you need to understand how to use that as a tool in order to not get devoured by the technology that is AI right now. So yeah, I don't know how we will survive this though, but I'm very curious to know.
I'm very sorry for young artists nowadays because it's tough times.
It's tough
times.
Yeah. It's more accessible, but that's making it harder. That's crazy. Always being crazy. I remember about like DJ, like there was a period where everybody was a DJ because it was super accessible. But because of that, of course, it was so much more, so much harder to stand out. Photography back in the days was so hard. Analogs also there. You have to spend money every time you need to make you make a picture. You don't know what you are photographing because you don't have any screen. But now it's so much more cheaper, so much more accessible. So you have plenty of photographers. So it's so much harder to stand out. You also have these two periods, the pre and the after. I don't know if you can say that in English, but you always have pre, so much more expensive and so much more hard to access to the tools and stuff, but easier to stand out. And then you have like the other period.
Difficult to say which one is worst and which one is better, because it's hard both ways.
I just think that you need to be smart and embrace the change and just find a way to do something with it. That's the best way. Because if you...
The only way.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you stay there to think about, oh no, I will lose my job because AI, I will never be a musician because AI, you will never make music. So basically you're losing there.
It's funny because AI is... some people, some deniers. I made a post on Frank Sinatra singing a Madonna, Nirvana song, "Smells Like Teen Spirit." He never record. Okay, I put the recorded this YouTube saying that's Frank Sinatra AI cover. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's perfect. You can see Frank Sinatra voice. It's a jazz arrangement. Perfect. Just in the beginning, I've heard, because it's a Paul Anka song, they put out Paul Anka voice and put Frank Sinatra voice. Okay. But I posted that 100,000 views in my Instagram and attract a lot of crazy people. No, Frank Sinatra record the song. It's not AI. No, it's not Frank Sinatra. It's Paul Anka. Come on, man. Paul Anka and Frank Sinatra, you can hear the difference. What kind of musician are you? A lot of different people are denying this. It's a lot of new stuff, new technology. It's people, I know, it's not. No way. Come on.
It's like the new competitor, technology vs artists. Yeah. Or artists that use technology to do something new, right? Like right now we're kind of recycling the music like from the past, but I feel like we're still not seeing a future of the music with this whole technology. Like what we are doing, it's recording and using like also like music from ages ago, and the retro mania that I was talking about with you before.
I'm curious. Do you think that we will have at some point like let's say a jar made out of like AI music, like having a Spotify playlist like AI music with artists that make just AI.
I think
music,
it's like our
like
choice.
a festival of AI music. I mean, I have never seen that.
I think it's like also our interest, like if people will be appreciating that kind of music, for sure.
I mean, we have an example right now that is going on since many years that is like Vocaloids, Japanese Vocaloids. You have artists that actually are made out AI fully, and they basically build this character, this artist that is not real, never existed, and never will, supposedly. We never know, but
Supposed to be a singer.
yeah, they are a singer. Like they are treated like
a model.
they have concerts, no model. They have most of the time, they have a 3D models or 2D models, and they have concerts with like with all the, how do you call that technique of like you use lights to create a 3D animation that is holograms. They use holograms to make the concert. It's crazy. It's something I think is great. Yeah. Yeah, that's something they yeah, exactly. That's but gorillas are real. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, exactly.
That did not to be real.
Yeah, exactly.
Not real, but that did be real.
Yes.
I think the key change of the AI stuff, it's regulation.
Absolutely.
People should know that's AI. I always read a guy called Yuval Harari. That it's a they said all the time there should be a crime. You put something pretending that's real, that's not in that CI. If every country do laws about that, that's okay. That the bad thing is tricking people, but in every aspect. Imagine politics.
Yeah.
But if there are like artists that uses AI in a way to trick people, but not to trick, but just to make think about it, like as bad effect could be the AI, but you kind of use it to trick people, and then people realize that, oh, this is not a real person, it's AI, and so you make them think about. So it's not like a musician point of view, more artist point of view, like mentality to provoke people's minds. I don't know. Could be also something.
Yeah, it's in a good way, but in some points, people has to know what's going on.
Exactly.
Besides that, it's a bad thing.
Yeah, because you cannot fight back. I don't remember the word, but the evolution. Let's say you cannot stop the technology to grow, to change the things. So you need to, as I was saying before, you need to just embrace the change and find a way. And regulations is, of course, probably the only way to fight back this issue.
Only way to get along with it.
Yeah. But you will always have people that will steal your voice to do something. Like, that's normal. We always had, and we will have always people that, like, you go on streaming websites to watch movies, and nobody pays anything to put that movies on the streaming website. Not the way, not Netflix that you pay, of course. We're talking about piracy, but it's the same. Like, steal the voice to make another track that is not made from the artist. You will forever have these kind of things, but we need regulation.
This is another very important thing. Monetize. How make art make money, because it's common sense nowadays. As music is free, it's over. But now video is gonna free. Every kind of art became free. So how can artists survive with this? Is everybody in the public say it's free? How can live with that? It's a toughest question for me.
What is your opinion about this? Like,
I don't have a good way out. I'm going to the flow. I'm giving guitar classes. We're making online courses, because as an art, my songs, I give up just my pleasure, but because try to build a career and make money with that, I think
nowadays
very, very hard.
You really,
It's just entertainer.
yeah.
I was entertainment. Gonna play with people talking. Okay, it's always gonna be, but as truly artistic voice and make money with that, I don't know.
do you think there is a path
I'm
now?
I'm glad that I'm older and enough to not to worry about much. I'm worried as well with young people, because how can people ask me advices?
Well, I was going to ask you actually, like, which should I say?
People 20 and then in his 20s, I'm called teacher. It's very difficult. I can do advices musically, but
Not commercially or
I really don't have the answer.
Understandable.
nobody
Yeah.
does, maybe.
Yeah, that's difficult.
Old guy. Old guy should be.
I guess of it. But in the simple. 12 years, means.
Well, maybe it is almost time to socialize a bit. But
Q&A, like, while we go,
if
Go.
as you like. And
Una volta.
I feel like you want to ask a question.
yeah, this funky microphone.
That's really funky. I love it.
Sir, with the orange mic, please ask a question about Madonna.
It's on the street, and it's just going, all on the Indian stuff. But yeah, I have some points that they about visible. We spoke a lot about media artists, but and what is my question is, what is the concept in 2034? What means to go to the concert? And for example, if you went to Madonna's show and you went to the show, that's different. And then, I understand, I respect all of this thing of, and like great flagship done. Let us things. Let's not get into the paintings and stuff in our show. Let's just focus on the production. And it's amazing. But obviously I'm not like this conservative of having to have musicians, because I need to have a musician, like as just as DJ or any on the kind of show. For example, I watched Spirit in 2011, and it was amazing. Like, it's been 14 years now, 20 years now, and like it's the next day they didn't know how to DJ his own song. It was literally just playing and getting crazy in the stage. So that's not a concert. That was a show. So what's the explanation? We should define concepts in 2024 and ahead. What should you expect any weapons with concept?
There's all different types of concerts, right?
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has different preferences. I mean, I have my own different preferences on any given day. I think a concert could be anything that you want. In general, it's with other people, but with the metaverse, we'll see. Even just I can go lay down in a private place and see some live stream with crazy technological devices, you know, and that is like almost a concert. But in general, yeah, it's more of a social environment. You touched on DJs. You can have a DJ concert. That's bending the what is a concert right there. Because it's, I don't know, it's one person playing something maybe pre-recorded or vinyl, or are there instruments? Yeah, but it's whatever you want.
So it doesn't really necessarily mean that you need someone to be playing an instrument, but you need a performer. So would it be like, instead of going to a concert, you going to a performer?
Yeah.
I guess is an experience, first of all, because I was thinking about, while you were talking about different type of concerts, of course we have, and I was thinking about, wait, but actually in these years we had Fortnite concerts though, with artists that made, yeah. So I was thinking like, I don't think there is a definition of concerts as long as it's an experience. And so, yeah, you don't have to have like one standard concert type.
Yeah, what a concert and what a performance. How could you define that?
Yeah.
Now, if somebody says it's a rock show, I will have certain expectations. You know?
Yeah.
I also stick with the option that it's
a show. It's a show.
I just started with an evening guitar, but it's a
You are familiar of Japanese guy with a snare drum and doing stuff and the crazy stuff with shows and dancing and something.
Yeah.
Just a guy making noise with a snare drum.
Yeah.
Just like that. And have touring all over the world.
Yeah.
That's public for this crazy.
Yeah, because if you think about it, even that is just an experience. Like, okay, you have this idea of standard concert where you go, you have the artist singing, you have the band playing the instruments, and that's the standard, let's say. But even having like one person making a full concert with just a trumpet is just crazy to think about. So I think it's very like great also to experience something that is
different or original.
Kind of different. Even yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think people go for concerts or experiences exactly for this, like seeing something they're not used to it. So, but I wouldn't call a concert something
Of a trumpet.
Yeah, I don't know.
I personally prefer also live music, just
or performance. Exactly. Like
because it's more organic, but it doesn't make it less valuable, if you know what I mean. Just because you're just using a trumpet, you are not your value is not less than somebody else that do performances and stuff, in my opinion, because still a skill, still something that you studied to do. At that level, still a show eventually. So I don't know, but yeah, me personally, I do prefer like live music because the feeling of like the bass and the drums that just hit you like physically. Because you know, when you go to a live concert, you feel the music touching you. It's not just coming from outside a speaker. That it's great. I love. Also music coming out from speaker, of course. But if I think about a concert, I really love that sensation of the organic feeling that the instruments can give you. I also love to go to listen to classical music, orchestra and stuff. That's like an organ. Like, I'm not talking about the instrument. I'm talking about like the actual organ is something crazy. You have all these instruments that works together and create something that is a body. Yeah, that's crazy. So it's something that I love, and it's something that you lose from the speaker because is like you don't have this stereo sounds coming from all the singular instruments. Of course, in the mixing, you can fake that, but when you are there and listening, you feel that it's coming from a speaker and not the instruments, of course. So yeah,
it's funny because I've been in my long life with dealing with music, the relationship with music, people between people and music have been changed a lot, and that's more. You put records and just do anything else and just listen. It's gone. In my city in Rio, there is no place you can with a theater with a concert. Every place have tables with people drinking or everybody stay up and dancing.
Yeah,
Just
like a background music is something just not to listen to, but just to hear there somewhere.
And now, because not much attention and the music, new music becomes shorter. So that's 1 minute and a half music, and because they change it.
And very simple. You hear it, it's just like in your
In the instrumental music that I've done, it's terrible because just we call elevator music, lift music, because in the background, just music in the background, released all the time. It's terrible because if you've been doing music, what you expect people to understand it one way is if people change the way to receive music, it's a completely different game. So the relationship is far. Music now is background.
It's not the main character. No.
Yeah. It's. Come back to Madonna. Music's not the...
Exactly.
It's very much...
It's not my intention, but it's when I say that, now, back to Madonna, she's just capturing the field of everybody's relationship with music.
I really think that today...
Just think that, because...
today more than yesterday, talking about these, today more than yesterday, I feel like music, if you want to succeed in music, you really need to treat it like a business more than, because it's always been like this. When you get into the industry, you always had to treat it like in certain way, because you have you have costs, you have many stuff to deal with, even in the past. So it's something that when you become a professional in something, not just music, but in everything, it's no more an hobby. Of course, you need to treat it like in a different perspective, because you're making money from it, you have costs, and you cannot fail, let's say. But today is something that I feel like is really, like before it was music first and business later. Now I think it's business before and then maybe music.
And also like the way you think about music now, like the artist now, like thinks about how in business he can make music and how he can attract people with those kind. And before it was more like, how can I, like Bob Dylan. I really love Bob Dylan because he always makes people wonder, like, who is he? What he's doing? He's always doing something weird, completely like different. He's not thinking about like industry, but in doing this, people are getting even more in touch with his music and not with like, his business way of putting the music in, like just to hear and as a background, nice. actually to study it, to analyze it, like what he's talking about, what he's doing, using also like videos and photography, not only music and lyrics,
That's another component of that is social media. You know that
I know.
any record company hire new artist with less than 1 million views in Instagram, in TikTok. They don't even try. If you don't have 50,000 followers in Instagram, in Spotify, don't even talk with you.
Yeah.
Today, I noticed in the last years that like how do you say, the mechanic of like the relationship between like majors and artists changed that drastically, because before it was like, I'm an artist and I'm going to search for the major. Like I'm going to like, let's say, impress enough the major to become like, to have a contract and start to have to getting money, concert and stuff. But it feels like that now is the opposite. Before it was like me searching to enter in the major. Now is more like before that to become like big, and now is first I need to become big. First I need to make like millions of listeners in Spotify and TikTok, so major can like choose between all the people making music, making art and stuff, like choosing the one that is like sure for, like a little bit more sure for them to getting money out of it. Like before it was like more, me major, I believe in you because I think that you have potential, so I invest in you. But now I have to prove myself even before.
I don't know. I want to show it. I don't know. It could be like this, but I think it's also singular. Like every person maybe has their own path. I don't know. But
the major, not, he's always the same. Always the same, because no way to hire, to sign with new artists with no huge success in social media, especially in TikTok. You have TikTok?
Yeah. I don't. I mean, I tried though. I had a small period of like being a TikToker, but it didn't last for so long. I tried so hard.
I kind of like shorts sometimes because you can be experimental. And like every song that I make now, I make a music video for it. So
yeah,
I guess I'm always resisting this major guy because he sounds like a pain in the butt. But I make very experimental videos and experimental music. So that's my take.
I was thinking about like talking about the value of the music. In these days, I was thinking about this, and I wanted to ask you, like, what do you think about the actual value of the music in the future? And what do I mean? Like, I was thinking music as like, let's pretend a chair, Before you had just people, artisan. You had artisan before, like industries and stuff. You had artisan that made chair, and you sell the chair, right? So me make chair, I sell chair, I get money from it, and usually it's like I have a cost because I put hours.
Imagine nobody should really be making $1 billion from music in a sense. Like that's like insane. I'm not saying whatever, I don't care, but like, I mean, we hope that the technology is used so that everybody is kind of like comfortable to do what they love. And, they don't have to worry about money per se, but come on, $1 billion to make art is also not sustainable, or like, it's just weird, let's say. And maybe the technology makes it so that every artist is more even and more supported on like a level playing field.
But at the same time, it's like everybody can be artists, but everybody can be artist. Like it's
Right.
like you know,
Right.
Right.
Well, we
Exactly.
could,
So you see
but
a lot of
I would
stuff
like
and you
to
don't know it.
I would like to say that we could, it's a little bit like bending what we think about like economy, back in the day, over 90% of people were farmers. Yeah. And now, it's the opposite. Like over 90% of people are now not farmers. So there's room for people, but what is being an artist? That will also probably change if everybody feels comfortable enough to be artists. Like, yeah, the definition of artist will shift a bit.
That's the problem now. Yeah, exactly.
The people who try to improve other people's careers, they said that you have to have a bass fan, little one, 1,000, 2,000 people, and convince these people to spend money regularly in your work. And I've heard account about that. 1,000 people may spend 1,000 people may spend $200 a year with your work.
Yeah.
You have to have 10,000 people. It's not impossible, but I think this difficult part is make 10% of these 1,000 people spend $200. That's it. The $200,000 a year. You can make a living with that. That's the account, but make it real. It's difficult. You understand? You have a base fan of 10,000 people. 10% of this base fan spend 200 people. 200.
For me, it's the
takes
math
a
is
village.
it's just 1,000 people spending $10 per month on your band. That's 1,000 people times 10. Well, that's 10,000, right? That's $10,000 per month. 1,000 people is not that hard. Like I have these. Come on.
How much do you
Let's
have?
go, guys. Come on. I'm an artist. Let's go.
Let's go.
I try to do some optimistic point of view.
Yeah, but what I was
And I have some contracts I'd like everybody to sign before leaving about paying me money. No, okay.
Let's start now.
I think around like 2,000 people today, and we had juicy tickets, and we
Six people are here. How's the speakers?
Yeah, but what I was thinking actually is like the price of the music, because I was thinking before an industrial revolution and stuff, you had like the designer making the artisan making the chair, for example, something else, and you sell the chair and that have a value. After the industry is coming in the game, now you go to IKEA and you pay $10 for a chair. So the value of the chair made by a designer is so much higher, because a similar chair made by hands by somebody is 300, not 10 euros. So I was thinking about like, what if happened the same to the music? Like now you can spend a reasonable amount of money to go to a concert. Maybe tomorrow we have AI. Maybe we have like so much more music made from computers and stuff. So the value of the real music maybe go high. What about the concert? What about like go to see somebody live? Maybe it will cost too much for the normal people to pay. Maybe just the passionate people can actually, how do you say, permettersi? I don't remember, but maybe the value and the price of the music will change in a way that it's going to be too expensive for regular people to enjoy.
Or maybe the concept of music will change.
Yeah.
That's
My friend, the chair is free.
the chair is free.
That's the big problem. Nowadays, IKEA is there. Nowadays, the chair is free. People are giving chairs.
But what about the live performances? Because I was talking specifically about like live performances. Because now you can, for most of the concert and performances that you have, basically everybody can pay for that. There is no, like, you have somebody.
Not always.
I know. There is some artists that like make the tickets. Like one example is Bad Bunny, I guess, that like 350 euros for his concert. I mean, it's crazy though. 300 euros. Who? Bad Bunny.
How many people went to his show?
Oh, he's huge. He's one of the most famous. Yeah, he's one of the most.
This guy has sometimes have 3 songs on the top 10.
Yeah.
You never heard about.
That's true. Actually,
I never saw an entire song, but I know the name.
Well, sorry, but I have some bands like, I mean, for me, I like a good rock show, and so like I have rock bands that I like, and they put on shows with maybe 1,000 as they've grown, maybe 3,000 they're like below 10,000 people, let's say, and they put out an album once per year, once per 2 years, and I don't know the math. They sell whatever amount of copies, but those types of people are like career musicians. But most people from my hometown, from their hometown, from everywhere in the world don't know who they are. They're not famous, but their career is making music and putting out the albums and playing live shows. So you can make a career out of music without 99% of people in the world knowing who you are.
Just 10,000, just that account, 10,000 people. Just your neighborhood. Okay, that's enough. But make these people spend money. But for me, the most difficult thing, how people spend money with your music.
Yeah, that's where you need to be creative. Like, you have to think about it. What can I sell that people can appreciate? But I can also appreciate to do. That's the thing.
And there were people, now we're talking almost about platforms of getting your art to people. So we're diving into Spotify territory and things like this. And I don't know anything about Spotify's contracts, right? But it is interesting. There were some major artists who were saying, I will never let my art go on Spotify because this or that reason. They're all on Spotify now. So they made the math work.
They're going to have no option. Just because that. No option.
Because of why? No option.
But also because everybody know, like, with friends, whatever, like, people just talk about listening to music on Spotify. So, like, everybody uses it. So it's the most, like, accessible. It's just, the easiest way to promote new music.
Yeah.
We have a question there.
The seeking about the struggle finding specific niche artists and genres, right? Like, I'm a big fan of melodies. Here's the problem as I started about keeps the designing and glorifying because that's not so I'm very important. And this issue of, like, before, if I was just helping you rock house, so I would just go to the lady and flips. And like you things on the show, like we took up like 2 ornaments in part was the issue and so there's a niche like middle specific stream my folk comes out like punk rock specific or maybe at the beginning one stream platform that covers rock and middle. Like something for jazz, something for this, like hidden jazz, or some head, or
what kind of niche you were looking for in those?
Metal.
But it's a very interesting because different thing. Everybody is put to Spotify the mission to find our music to listen. Okay, nobody has time or patience to you maybe are an exception, but almost everybody doing the Spotify playlist and they do whatever they want to this playlist. So it's a huge market. It's a new majors. It's the playlist of Spotify.
Yeah.
So when you have a niche, but you can find, you have to dig in on. It's terrible because the terceira, outsource the mission of find your music you're gonna watch.
Yeah.
Terrible. The internet.
That's a great question, because you reminded me of like my life in high school. Back in the days, Spotify was kind of new. We're talking about like 15 years ago. So maybe a bit less, but yeah, it was like Spotify was kind of new. And I remember like people talking about Spotify, and they used to use that to know new music and new artists, because back in the days it was like a little bit more empty. And plus many people didn't pay for the premium also. So you had like, you didn't have the opportunity to choose what to listen because you had to pay. So like think about in high school, you don't have money, you use the free account. So basically you went there just to find new artists, new music, and that was great. Now it's a bit different, of course, because as you said also, Spotify is basically a major right now. You have the playlists, like people pay to be inside the playlist because they know that they have like 100,000 monthly listeners to that playlist. So they put their song there to be listened. So it's very, very similar to a major right now. And so you have many people every day. For 100,000 people per day putting music on Spotify. So it became so hard, of course. And I think that this is like the logistic part on how why it's hard to find new niches on platform like Spotify, for example. So it will be great. I'm pretty sure that people are working on it, or maybe they did, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure there is already like platforms where you can find more specific stuff, for example. But another thing that I was thinking about this topic is also that today music, it's so, and I love this, it's so mixed all together. The genre I'm talking about, it's so, is a mix. It's like a soup of kind of music all together. I love this because people are experimenting a lot, because of course back in the days you had less genres, so it was kind of easier maybe to find something new, to try something new, because of course there was less stuff, it was less accessible, as we were talking before. But now it's so accessible that we have a lot of genre mixing together. We have like I don't know, rock, jazz, like mixing, and it's crazy. So I think that like in the future will be even harder to find specific niches, but that's the good and the bad, because of course bad, because if you want to listen to something, is harder to find that something, but at the same time gives you the opportunity to actually experimenting as an artist, but also as a listener. Because you go like, for example, on Spotify, we can talk about Spotify, and you just like find a playlist that is mixing 3 genres together. You're like, what is this? I'm curious, and I'm trying, and I realize that, yo, this is crazy. It is good. So yeah, I think it's like everything. You have the bad and the good, and this is my opinion: the bad and the goods, and how it's going to be in the future, probably. I think so.
I was thinking about like the intersection of, technology, economics, and culture. Mm-hmm. I think that I'll go really deep for a second, but like from the beginning, everything was very like homogenized in like human society. Everything was very like just we're all like at this one like place, and then we have like cars and roads and new economies and this and that popping up. And we think like, finally now everybody's going to be like unique. We're not going to have any like conglomerations. We're not going to have any monopolies of culture or of economics. And then we have like monopolies of economics. And then the internet comes and we say, oh, now we're going to be able to break through and not have any homogenized. We're all going to be like separate. And now we have Google and Spotify as, you know what I mean? Like they are sort of monopolies, you know? And it's just like what's coming next is like, I don't know, maybe AI is the chance. It's weird because AI is like an organization. So it takes the language models and searches them in a very like organized way. So it's almost, could this organization make it so organized that we then do finally transcend, you know? And I think a part of it is like knowing what is like iconographic. So we're talking about Madonna, one of the most like iconic people. We talked about Nirvana, one of the most like iconic bands. We could talk about other things that are like very iconic and very much like, if you say metal, I thought at one point about this album that I like, and I can listen to it all the way through because I also like metal too. And I thought, man, this is like the most iconic Southern metal album that I know of. It just is weird because usually iconic stuff is more pop, but when you find something iconic in metal, it's kind of unique, you know, like, but my conclusion is that maybe with the new technologies, we will find every category of what's iconic, and then it will have to like break through that in some way, you know? And that could be in many ways, you know, like I find myself more, if I'm going to search for stuff on YouTube rather than Spotify, because on YouTube you can find like older demos, although Spotify is getting good at posting demos too. But you can find like live shows where the version was different or a cover or all these things. And SoundCloud's much better for some stuff for these things. But yeah, it's a combination of technology, culture, and economics. And I think it's...
So, you know, that's what's funny. What's the most important people in the music business today? Spotify CEO, Google CEO, Apple CEO, and Microsoft CEO. None of them are interested. None of them of music business. They run the music business without any interest in music.
Hi.
This guy of do you see the series of Spotify? That's in Netflix. I became depressed 3 days because that's all about technology, business, no music.
Do you remember how it's called? Because I'm curious.
Yeah, it is still in Netflix.
But the name of the I guess I can search for Spotify on Netflix.
Spotify, something like this.
Yeah.
That's I became more pessimist because it's amazing. That's I don't know 8 chapters. That's some British artist, a girl, pretty, but that's true. All the time it's majors, big in technology, make the technology, but music, it's
a mathematical algorithm.
Yeah, that's
our taste.
No, it's at least YouTube. You spend more time YouTube listen to music. They're good, but Spotify. The last time you spend Spotify, if you were not paying, 70% not paying, okay. If you spend a lot of time with Spotify, bad for them. So it's not interesting. Different Spotify, different of the other platform, including TikTok and Meta. You know, all the they have no. If you don't spend less time, you don't out. If you pay for if you have a payer listener, if you pay and not listen, better for them.
Oh yeah, that's a fun fact. It's off topic, but that's how gyms work. They get more money on the people that pay for a subscription but don't go to the gym. They want that people. They don't want people going to the gym. So you have a lot of people that New Year is coming. It's January. Let's go to the gym because I want to get fit. I want to remove my belly. And then they stop after 2 months, but they still paying for the. I'm one of them actually. Yeah, I stopped going to the gym, but I'm still paying because I always been like, yeah, tomorrow I will go. Tomorrow I will go, and then for months I don't go, but I'm still paying. So yeah, the people like me are. How are they getting money? It's like subscription stuff is because you have less cost because like not having like less client is less cost, but you still getting the money.
Forgot I'm paying for Spotify. I'm gonna cancel.
Exactly.
Stupid.
Now you're gonna cancel after all this conversation.
Now everybody will think about like, what do I have that I don't?
I'm delaying that and forgot, but
yeah. Yes.
Well, thank you guys for the conversation. I really appreciate it. We can keep speaking, but at some point I will wander around a bit. I don't know.
Okay, last session. Last session for Q&A. Maybe.
Yeah, Q&A?
Yeah.
Q&A?
What session on my side? I think we were almost getting 2 hours. And what was special about still coming back to Madonna and our biggest show long history for people that didn't know that. This was the biggest show about history. 1.6 million people. It was absolutely free. She got on, I guess, 19 million reais. That then something around $4 million, $5 million, something like that. Anyways, the point is, not having musicians in the stage, we already discussed all of this, and what is a concert, and what lines to be in the concert is 2024. What about the AI? And what about... So we got many interesting points of, for example, the realize we running back. Like, it was interesting when they were pretending that they weren't people, but actually they were people. And then, that's funny because we knew that was music created from people, buying people. And with all this thing of AI and etc. and then the little born today, my question is, for example, got Nabuco, for example, and great guitar to play and play with many artists that very well known in Brazil. The point is, for example, with Spotify and Web3, for example, how bringing music in different shapes. Nowadays, we don't sell any more music. We don't sell records. We don't sell merch. Clearly, we sell a T-shirt of a band, right? And if you buy some, you're buying some what T-shirt on Amazon, made
most of the time. Yeah.
Or the China guy around the corner.
And the point is, Tyler specifically, probably we know how to answer that better, but for example, what kind of collectibles, what kind of asset nowadays should we be able to buy from our idols? So I'm a fan of Madonna. Let's suppose I'm a fan of Madonna. And like, I left that concert with nothing. I cannot buy a regular card. I cannot collect anything from that show. Maybe a a couple, like just a mass of the studio from the festival, and that's all. It would be my shelves, like for a while. But like, what do you think of the future of music, concerts, and collectibles? How can we pay musicians? How can we pay our idols? And how that can be sustainable for everyone? Right?
Yeah, I think if we think about this from the bottom up, say you're a small band, you would want to use somebody like maybe tokentracks.io, and you can sort of create like an NFT renting thing, and you can buy like 1 second of a song. And if enough people buy 1 second of a 3-minute song, then the song is funded, and maybe you make a tour from that as well. So that's like
buy 1 second of a song.
Yeah, it's like an NFT thing. It's but you can always prove that you own it forever. So imagine if you owned 1 second of like a Virgin by Madonna. If this technology was around back then, you would always own the first second of this song, and you could have some art associated with it, and nobody else could ever say they own the first second of like a Virgin except for you, right? It all depends on how you structure it, and I don't know too much about this platform. I just met a guy who used to be in like the music industry, and he made this thing called Token Tracks, TRAXX.io, and that's just my understanding. I have no idea. Like, that's just one thing for the future, And you would need somebody like Madonna to also do it, even though I think her bank account's okay. I don't know, but like, it would make a lot of visibility for this new technology if somebody like that adopted it. Besides this is like, for me, keeping the dream alive, like experimentally, cassettes are really huge where I'm from. And I really like that. Vinyl is also very huge. I think it's a little strange because I'm an environmentalist. So, we're printing stuff. So that's always going to hurt the environment. But, it's something, it's art to some degree. So you have like basically the physical world and then new iterations of the digital stuff. So that's what I think you could do to bring more value to the industry.
Maybe also I was thinking about this just because some days ago I received an email not an email, actually it was a story on Instagram of Billie Eilish that invited people to the listening party, but it was of course online. But yeah, maybe you can also do something like this because nowadays, of course, it's so much more easy to connect with people and also artists. So maybe you can sell a little bit of time of yourself as an artist with people. Maybe in this way, like you can make listening parties, even if it's online, but maybe you can pay like a ticket for $5, for example, but it's for everybody globally. So $5 and for 100,000 people that want to listen the new album before. And maybe it's in streaming. I don't know. Maybe you have the artist like talking with the people, chatting with the people. You also can do something like this, I suppose. It would be something that it could work also because in the last years, during the pandemic, mostly after a little bit less, of course, because people started to live again, but we had like a huge growth of Twitch, for example, and a streaming platform that I guess everybody knows. Because of course people wanted to connect more during the pandemic, but we never saw something like this. That we saw it, but it's never been standardized by music industry to have the opportunity to like talk with the artists face to face, like virtually, but face to face. So nowadays is very possible. So maybe also something like this.
Jacob Collier was, yeah, they did lot of things. We make explanation how they mix.
Yeah, that's it's very so bad.
But I don't know. He monetize. I think he do this stuff.
I think he have a YouTube channel and stuff. Yeah.
But
because probably because he came out the social, because he was on YouTube and he went to like the music industry. I mean, he's a genius though, so of course it was meant to be. Yeah, so he was meant to be in the music industry, but he came from YouTube, so he's very attached to the social side, I guess.
Yeah, and also the audience he has.
Yeah, it makes see the audience while during the performances. He used the people as an orchestra. That's crazy. I love it. He's a genius, though.
And anyway, it's the most of a kind of signature, some kind of stuff people pay monthly, and you give
Subscription
stuff.
Yeah,
subscription. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. I mean the subscription. Yeah. Also, because nowadays the subscription methods payment is very. I mean, it's basically almost everything is going towards that thing. Also, software. For example, before you had Photoshop, you had like one lifetime license. You paid and you had it forever. Same FL Studio, like Cubase, always been like that. But nowadays, everything is subscription. You pay monthly. So probably also something like that would be great, I guess. Yeah. Maybe, I don't know, you can have like the artist box.
You still have to pay rent, water.
Yeah, that's scary. That's scary. But yeah, that will be something also too, actually. And I never saw that.
Gotta be something there. I don't know exactly what, but something in this.
Yeah, I think it could work, at least now. In the future, I don't know, but now, maybe, yeah.
About the solve that question, and now the last question. So now thinking about subscriptions, and when we talk about collectibles, for example, NFTs, the chain holder.
Yeah.
Like they release 5,000 NFTs of their freedoms record. So each of the holders that hold one of these 5,000 NFTs, they would cut 1% of the revenue of the whole album, plus some bonuses. For example, they could go to a VIP area in a show, or they could have privilege and access to, pictures, whatever, this blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But it is that they bought the collectible and they can make money out of the collectible. So it's in terms of the future of how to monetize art, how to monetize music and artists. I think that Web3 can bring thousands of solutions. We're still like very in the beginning of a new age.
Absolutely.
And if you have any light on top of that about how can you, for example, instead of just paying subscription, how can you be somewhat of receives something from subscribers? For example, if you hold one of these entities of change holders, you actually are receiving a little bit of money of every play people give to change world. How does that? How do you think that can be accessible for independent art?
I think that this is the most challenging part of this is, let's say, educate people to what is this kind of purchases like NFT. Like even people that knows what NFTs and blockchain is are many times kind of skeptical, because it's something easy but complex. You know what I mean? And we're talking about the people that knows what NFTs and blockchain are. think about the people that doesn't know. How do you explain that you can buy a piece of the song, like 1 second, for example? I think that this is the most challenging part. If we are able to actually do this, to educate people in this perspective, I think that will become kind of easy, because at that point is like having the T-shirt, because first of all, you're doing that supposedly because you want to support the artist. So you have the emotional connection with buying something that the artist actually made. And that's kind of easy from a business perspective, I guess. And plus, if you offer actually something that could be money, it could be like a revenue, it could be bonuses, the chat with the artist, the VIP things, it's become even easier. But even if you give these things, if you don't really know how to explain what actually is like all the blockchain stuff, like that, actually you own that. It's not that like you're paying a ticket. It's two different things. That is the most challenging part. And also maybe if you want to aim to that, maybe is the things that you need to focus on first, I guess.
I think it takes time.
Yeah.
It is a complex.
And faith also. Not faith like gods.
In general, like,
There's a great person talking about it, but like, it's a very complex technology. And it's like, for example, sharing real estate infractions. For example, you can buy this place. For example, if this place is listed on a real estate on Nasdaq, for example, or S&P 500, you could buy just like a small fraction of the whole business, like by paying $10, you buy like, this piece of cut. Yeah, is that it? Right? So it's still complicated to make a lot of people to understand what is Nasdaq. So I think NFTs, I think it's way more complicated because it's a totally different technology that doesn't actually has with
legitimacy legislation.
And how explain how to this tiny piece you're gonna buy, have some profit around that.
Yeah,
that's most.
Of course, for independence, like you asked before, I think is very hard because you as an independent, you don't have much to offer more than the music that you do. Talking about the music, of course, this is something that you can do. Maybe if you have the resources to do something, to have something to offer.
Going back to Nirvana, as you mentioned it in the very beginning, maybe this is the new way to support Nirvana. Buying their T-shirts, we are actually buying their NFTs on OpenSea for $5 on the blockchain, and then
maybe they can
respond or not.
Yeah, or maybe you can open a Patreon like, hi, we are Nirvana. You can support us in Patreon because music doesn't pay us. That would be crazy, but I will do that. Like that will be like courageous, because thinking about being a huge artist and you're like asking for help, that would be crazy though. Because of course you're putting your face in that situation. Like actually music, like I'm big, but music is not paying me today. That's.
You know, I demand about. No, the biggest concert on history. We paid most of the money, but this still to happen was visiting bank, and they pay more than all profits.
Yeah,
Paid I guess 25 million reals. So she got out of this 16 million, and they paid. Sale. The government of Rio, they paid, I guess, by that. And the government and the valley do the city 10 million and the state and the state. So that was 20 million from the government, 20 million from the bank,
Heineken, Anaheim, yeah, Vito Webermike, those were the big. Beer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the future of music.
But this is a great example.
Bank and beer.
I mean, Bank and Beer. It could be a name for a company, Bank and Beer, B&B, for real.
Well,
But yeah, that's a great example about what we're talking about at the start. Like, if you're a musician and you want to actually make a live out of it, you need sources that is not music to make money. You can use music to, for example, is an idea. But yeah, that's sad. But it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, as you said in the beginning as well, it's like the democratization of everything, right? We are all freedom. We are all looking for freedom, even though we don't know also the time one for kind of break through how we looking. You know, also the time we don't know what I'm going to do. But
If we see someone singing with a regular voice through a microphone, we think that's very organic and very like non-technical. But even just the way I'm speaking now through this microphone is like not organic, right? It's already a technological.
very organic hit.
We'll see. But yeah, Madonna hit me up if you want some ideas about experimental music and technology. I'm always here. So, anybody else have a conclusion from the audience? One more question? We're gonna just hang out.
Don't be shy.
I'm done.
No, you guys drop the mic.
Thank you. Hey.